All right, so the next thing I'm going to endeavor to do, inspired by this Pokemon design, make my own fantasy creature, is to resolve this head. And I like that I have a version of him with a closed mouth from the horse and an open mouth. Just add your own sound effects. All right. So, let's clean up that horse reference then now. And I recommend you use the lasso rather than just using the eraser tool. At least for a close shave first. But you notice how soft the horse's fur is? So I'm not going to lasso right next to it because I need to erase away to it. I'll show you what I mean. This is cleaning it up, kind of stripping it so I can get this soft hair texture. Nothing says amateurish creature composite like everything having the same kind of edge quality. Soft edges need to look soft. So what does that mean? Well, it's nice to have this white background instead of a transparent background so you can see all of that. Notice if I turn off my background layer, which is just pure white, and we can add that in if you didn't sketch digitally, it becomes harder to see how it would print. But here with the white background, I'm going to take my eraser tool at 100%, but extremely soft. I need to make sure I'm on the right layer. All right. Make sure nothing's selected. Hit Command D. And I'm just going to take the edge off. I'm pretty zoomed in, so I'm going to go a little bit smaller. So it feels softer, feels less predictable and regular. Very important to use a stylus here too, and a tablet, so you can have really small little dots and blips in there. Show the softness of the fur. So here you can see how it works with the reference background behind it. That's how you'll transition between textures on your different layers too. Just soft transitions. You decide how opaque, how crisp they need to be. So first you just use your lasso tool to get a close shave, but then you use your eraser tool, at least for soft textures like fur. And you start with a 100%, taking the edge off, a little haircut here. And then I'll go in with a lower percentage opacity to help make it a little bit more transparent. And this is why we don't do the clean cutouts until you know what you want to have showing, because it's a lot of work. You don't want to waste it on things that don't matter. But that white this is all going to matter. This is all going to help sell the illusion of my creature's head. And once it's cut out nicely, I can use it in a variety of ways. I can still stretch it and warp it. I just know I want this as a visible asset in my finished piece. Turn off that background so I can really see this edge quality. It's okay to have a little bit of a shadow on it, especially when on a white background. But I'm going to take that down with a lower opacity eraser next. Okay, now it's getting into sharper textures of the lips, so I don't need to be quite so soft. Okay, now a lower opacity. Not that low. Hit it again. Take off that rough edge. And I need deep shadows. You just don't want to leave any little remnants. Okay, now I'm going to switch to a harder eraser, a little bit smaller for some of these textures. Doesn't need to be that hard. Let's see. It's all relative. Okay. All right, let's see how that looks. I'm going to do the same thing here. Oops, wrong layer. Remember, while you're using another tool, especially the eraser tool or the lasso tool, you can hold down Option, strike that. You can hold down Command to get to the Move tool, which can help you with where you need to select your layers. Okay, so you can see the lips I'm getting transitioning. And then the other way to transition besides the soft eraser is with the clone stamp. So if I want to bring a little bit of this grayness up to the snout, very soft, 70% opacity, I can do that. Little selective areas. I'm going to work it back and forth. And then shape the other layers still. All right, let's see. Oops. Ear in there. Now I need the antlers behind. And you see that all that cutout work helps. I'm going to be using it. So I have to decide, do I want the open mouth I think I want the open mouth. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the horse, but I'm going to select everything on that layer except for the mouth. And duplicate just that. Command J. There we go. And I can kind of selectively erase that way. Now, when you're dealing with organic textures like this, it's better to keep it a little bit soft. Especially when it's things like fur or skin with little fibers on it. I wonder. I'm going to try something. I'm going to make a duplicate of a little mouse deer. And on the duplicate, I'm going to try erasing out its nose. So I like kind of the white banding of the horse's nose and nostril. Let's see. Not at 100%, just a little bit. Let's take it down even more. Even more. Very subtle. Transition it. Yeah, just something you haven't really seen before, this mixture. And do I like that better or that better? Let's see. I think I like something in between, which is why I made it as a duplicate, so I could do this. All right, something like that. I'm not worried too much about the bottom of this jaw yet. That's going to have to work itself out. I want the back of the neck and I want the antlers, and all of that's working pretty well. So let's see. Now I have multiple layers now of just the miniature deer, these two. So I want to show them together. So there they are, and the way you merge is you select both layers and you hit Command E. You'll see it here under Merge Visible. Now that that's one layer, I can erase from it fully and make the neck work. I'm going to label this closed mouth because that's the only reason I would ever use that layer reference. And I'm going to mark it as a color, just so I know. Okay, and now let's transition this area here. And now that I've got the focal point of the face out of the way, I'm going to be a little bit faster in the rest of the things I do. So the ear's there, everything's there. Now I just got to erase around the antlers. And I'm going to try using, because the background's nicely out of focus, I'm going to try using a lot of the magic wand. Just holding down Shift and adding to its selections. With contiguous turned on.